Well, first of all, since we last spoke at Blackburn, is everybody okay within the squad?
Coops, it was a hard day for Coops to come through with one training and 2 times 90 minutes. So he had not trained the full training today, but we hope that he will be fit again. But the rest is all going strong.
Obviously, the game took place a short time after the window shut. So of the 3 new signings, how have they settled into their new surroundings?
We had a really good training with them Wednesday together with Ugbo. All the coaches were on the pitch together with them to make a good training, and then they had off Thursday, and then they train again today, and it was nice to see them in the group, and I feel they start to be integrated socially and also on the pitch.
Is it a scenario where all 3 may start at Swansea?
The scenario can be there. Let's see if it's all 3 or it's 2 of them, but there's a big chance that more of them will play, yes, of course.
And just in terms of Adara Mola, we spoke about him and sprinting specifically the other day. Presumably he's done that now to get back up to speed.
Who do you say?
Tail Adara Mola.
Oh yeah, Tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Wednesday, I think he had 20 crossing after sprinting, acceleration, high intensive running, and crossing in high speed, and so it was really good. And the same with Joel and with Marv, that they also have some intensive running to prepare them from the physical side, so they are ready to play.
What do they bring, and because they are now available to you, what might alter with regard to how you deploy this team then, from a tactical perspective?
One of the biggest challenge we have had to create something is how we speed up the game. And to speed up the game, you need tempo dribbling, you need people who run in high speed behind the back line, or you need a player who can dribble 1v1, dribble through one, play the assist. And I think with Tail we get a physical, very strong and very explosive player, so the runs behind will be a thing for him to speed up the game and hopefully be a part of to create more crossing from left side and more chances from left side. I think Joel is a guy, he's great to receive the ball in the pocket, to maybe dribble 1 or 2, and also can play the vertical game, but he can also be the guy who can make a finishing. Marv can also play the forward passes. He can also speed up the game from the 6th position. It can be chip balls, but he's strong on the ball, so I also hope he can be a part to help us to create more chances when we are in the build-up, but for the first 2 also in the offensive transition, because they are runner and they can do something also on their own.
When we spoke at Blackburn, one of the frustrations was the team needing to take more risks. From a mentality perspective, look, and I know it's only been a couple of days, but what's being done, and how can that be coached into the team?
I think against Wrexham we tried really much and we were fresh. I think the last 10% for freshness. I think there was mentally it has been a very tough week for the boys. I can say Wednesday with the 3 plus Ugbo, there was a lot of finishing, a lot of things where the only is about how do we create, how do we score goals. Today in the training, we after the warming up, we had 2 possessions, and then we had one group only with crossing, finishing. Where do we want to play the crossing from? How do we want to have our position and movement in the box? And the other group was more in the build-up phase. And then again we play a little bit 11v11, we play 11v11, but also with the focus, how do we not only keep the ball, but how do we start to have more players in front of the ball? How do we integrate more deep run? How do we get more players in the box? All those things. So, and the boys have trained really, really, really well. The energy was really good. The quality was good. And yeah, there was more goals in the training than normally.
Because from a psychological perspective, look, no one's doubting they're not trying hard, no one's doubting they're not giving everything for the shirt. But I can only imagine, as a professional footballer, it's just hard not winning and not scoring. So getting over that must be quite a challenge for you as the coach and obviously the players themselves.
Of course it is. And we know when you have scored one goal for a striker, it's easier to make number two. If you score, doesn't matter who it is, it's easier to make number two because you can remember how you did it last time you scored a goal. And of course, when you're all looking in the memories, it's long time ago that we have scored goals. And that's why we try in the training really to create situation where we have a game picture, but sometimes we also need to reduce the level so we get the situation so they learn to score again, to get some simple finishing, just to get this feeling, I get this shot in the long corner, I get this dribbling, finishing, I get this smart pass behind 1-against-1 with the goalkeeper. So to create all those pictures so they get this feeling, I can remember how it is, and I'm looking forward to do it on Sunday.
You mentioned Ugbo there a couple of times. Is he back in the picture now, or might he, with the transfer windows that are still open in other countries, might he still be heading off?
I've had a really good conversation with Ugbo. He had a really tough period in many ways. But as he said to me in the office, Gaffer, I'm ready to do everything to come back in this team and to win your trust and to do something for our club. And I said, I'm ready to do all what I can with all the coaches to support you. And we do all what we can to bring Ugbo back in the business. And not only to be a defensive striker, but also to be an offensive striker again who can make some goals. And that's why we have a goal setting for him, with what we are working with him also for the group training, but also for the individual training. And so we all bring all the energy in to bring him back in business and to have some good games again, and not only good games, but also to make goals again for Sheffield Wednesday.
Why do you think that he had this down period then, that essentially has lasted since the back end of the season before last, and the goals tally that he had?
There is many reasons, but I think the most important is how Ugbo he wants to be in the future for us, and he knows that he has to step up. He knows he has to grow again, and he also knows now that we will all support him all what we can to bring him back in this shape, what he needs to be a striker who perform well, but not only perform, also making goals in the championship.
Swansea City then, the next challenge. What's your assessment of them at the weekend?
It's one of the team with the biggest clarity with how they play. They are a very strong possession team. Are very, very educated in how they want to play. So it's a team where you have to invest a lot to get good pressing situation. Because they are very comfortable under pressure. So it's a team that is strong to press, but it's also a team general high up that is strong on the ball. In the defensive way, it's a very aggressive pressing team. So again, here the balance to move them around to get some spaces so we can progress, speed up the game, and then the balance also sometimes when they have good pressure also be ready to just play simple vertical football to find this balance against them. It's gonna be one of the things we have to work on and also have worked on today. So a good opponent with a clear style of play, and but we all looking forward to come there and to attack this opponent.
Just finally, Sheffield Wednesday's away support is excellent, but I think it's tested to the extreme with a midday kickoff in Swansea. So the fact that you're going to see a lot of them there, what does that mean to you?
It's mean that we are all together. It's mean that what they are doing in doesn't matter which away game we have had. They have always been there. I said when I lost my mom, I lost my dad 2010. I lost my mom in 2012. It was the last person who has unconditional love to me. So now I have to fix it, or I have to find it in myself. We have unconditional love from our away fans. They are amazing. They are always there for us when it's most difficult. And we appreciate it. I do it, the staff, the coaches, all the players. And this is a big reason why we also all can keep on going, because there is fantastic support. So thank you.
Brilliant. Best of luck on Sunday. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You alright, Henrik? How you doing?
Hey Joe, I'm okay. I have had a good training with the boys, so I'm good.
Excellent, good to hear. Just a little bit on Ike again. You said about him being sort of close to coming back and stuff. But could he feature this weekend at all, or is he not quite there yet?
He has been out for many weeks with injury, and before the Wrexham game, he had his first training with the team, and since there he has trained, and I hope he can be in the squad on Sunday.
Excellent. In terms of anybody else, I know obviously there's been a lot of injuries this season, but is there anyone that you're expecting back for that game that didn't feature in the last one?
No.
Okay, no problem. On to the guys who are playing, just wanted to touch on Murphy Cooper. How impressed have you been with the way that he's settled in? Because he seems to have really sort of slotted into this team very nicely.
I think when we spoke about him first time, after he came to the club, and I said the phone call I had with him when I spoke with him about to come to Sheffield Wednesday, and this proudness, this thankfulness, this wow, I have to play for Sheffield Wednesday. This feeling, he coming with this feeling every day. So I think all the teammates can feel, wow, there's coming a young man inside in our club every day who will do everything for his standing up in the morning till he go to bed every evening for this club. And he's a really, really good guy. And then he's a top professional in all what he is doing. So how he is integrated in the defensive stuff and also in the offensive stuff, so quick, and we have a good goalkeeper coach also. So they are a good team right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. With Murphy and Jerry and Marv and Teo and Joel, all these guys that have come in, what does it say about them and their mentality that they are so willing to join this fight that Sheffield Wednesday are in at the moment?
I think there is more level. The big level is we are Sheffield Wednesday. It's the first. We are a big club still. We have a challenge right now, but all people have a crisis in life. We have a crisis in life for Sheffield Wednesday, but we will also come out of this crisis. And they know this big picture, and they are all proud to come here. And for all guys, wow, can I play for Sheffield Wednesday? Yeah. And then they all have also spoken with players in our squad. And when they speak about what we are doing and how we play, how we train, how we treat people here, and they have seen how players have been developed here, then it's also a very interesting place to come. So we have a lot to offer them, not money, but we have a good environment to develop as a player, as a human, and then we are Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah,
no, it's nice to see them come on and add a little bit of something different to the side. And sort of moving on from that point, because of the players that you sign and the positions that they play, Do they give you an option to potentially change things up? Obviously, you've used a back five over the course of the season. Like, given the players that you have now, is there potential to move to a back four potentially?
Sometimes you train to make the things better you have, and sometimes you can also change to make things better. And in the future, there could also be an option to play with a back four now when we have Tail is coming in. So in the future, maybe it could also be an option, yeah.
Yeah, okay. With Will Grange, obviously you lost Yisa to Chelsea. There's not really much you can do about that when teams like that come calling. But obviously with Will, he's still at the club. Has there been any progress with regards to his contract and where things are at there?
It's still at the same point. I still hope that we can sign a contract, but they are also waiting for what's happened with the club. But of course, I hope we can sign a new contract for him and keep him so he can be a part of the first team in the future.
Yeah, you touched on it the other day a little bit with regards to the sale of Bailey. You've spoken a lot about wanting academy boys to come through and play for Sheffield Wednesday. How important is it for you and for the other people at the club to try and make sure that almost, I mean, you can never say you'll stop it because big teams will always come knocking, but that Bailey is one of the last that Wednesday lose for probably a price that they shouldn't really have gone for?
I cannot comment on the price, but I know with the situation we have, also for the administrator, is not lovely to sell our biggest talent from the academy. But this is the situation we have right now with the club, and that's why we want to have changes as quick as possible with the new owner. So we don't need to sell. But if we should sell, it's because they paid so much money that it makes sense for the big picture of the club. And that's why the strategy for me should also be to make a strong academy, to find young talent from the area, and later maybe from bigger distance, but let's start to use the potential we have close to, yeah, and then develop them and then integrate them, and then it will be a dream to have a Sheffield Wednesday team higher up in Championship, higher up than this, also in the future, with players from Sheffield and our academy, of course.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just lastly for me, in terms of yourself and the recruitment team, it's obviously been a very busy period for you guys. Is there still work going on there, or is your squad now your squad? Like, is for this season, are you guys done?
The squad is our squad now. I see that. I don't know if there's still some transfer windows that is open, so we can still sell players, but right now we cannot get any new players, loan players. We can get transfer-free players, but right now there's no spot. And so for me, I see it as a closed transfer window right now.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks very much for your time, Henrik, and all the best this weekend.
Thank you, Joe.
Afternoon, Henrik.
Good afternoon, Stuart.
How much more enjoyable is it for you after Monday, knowing that the squad is the squad and you can just concentrate on coaching this week and not worry about transfers and loan spots and things like that?
Last week was, as I said before, was a tough week for everyone, with Barry, with Bailey, with all the question mark for many players' future. And we all know when we have a lot of thoughts, then we are in the past, we are in the future. It's difficult to just be in the moment where you have to perform. So I'm really happy that the window is closed now, and now we have our squad. Now we can concentrate for this. Now we have got some new players who can a little bit different than the player we had before, and they will hopefully help each other to take the next step for the team. So also today in the training, we had a training with great energy, great quality, more goals than normally. So we're looking forward for the training tomorrow and of course for the Sunday game.
And you mentioned to Gids, you mentioned about the unconditional love of the Sheffield Wednesday supporters. To go through weeks like last week, and I know there's been many of them since you've been manager, would that even have been possible for you at a club without that support around you in terms of the fans on the terraces?
I think all people have tried to have difficult phases in life. And if you stay alone and sit alone, it can be difficult to come out of this little world, this little bubble, to start to think positive. But if you have one person who can see something or support you, who can see something you can't see, and you feel, oh, I don't gonna be judged here. He can see or she can see something I can't see. She showed me a way out of this crisis. Yeah, and I think we have some fantastic fans, general, who has been fantastic for the boys. Fantastic, because they push us when we are tired. They push us, they support. So we can only be thankful.
And obviously, there's lots of motivations for the rest of the season. But how much is giving them back some joy? How high is that on your list of things you want to do?
I mean, of course, it's high up. Or we are here for the club. We are here. We all want to do the best for the club. And who is the club? This is our fans. So of course we do everything from we're standing up in the morning to I go to bed every evening to make the best possible job for Sheffield Wednesday, because then we make the best possible job for our fans. And Sheffield Wednesday without the fans, we will not be a big club. And this is our fans. They're amazing, and that's why all what we are doing is to do the best we can to make them happy, to make them proud.
And just in terms of the players you brought in on deadline day, obviously Joe Ndala still learning the game, so is Adramola. How important was it to be able to get Marvellous and Canada's experience added to the squad?
We have a very, very, very young squad. So of course the mix of Tail and Joel as young players who very forwarded mindset and just go, and then with Marv, who has tried, what a career, big respect for him, to get him in, to support, to help to, but not only for the young player, also for the senior players, that they have another senior players they can speak with, they can mirror up to. So, and for Jerry, he is really integrated, and he has a good energy in the group for the young, for the other senior players. So 2 young and 1 experienced and 1 very, very experienced. So I think it was a good mix.
And that extra energy must just be really important during difficult times.
Yeah, of course it's important, because they're looking at the world with fresh pictures. And it's also that now when we have got 4 players from outside, that also mean that the competition now, that is not if you are fit you are playing. No, now we get 4 more players in, so the competition will be much higher now, because if you don't play you will not play, because now we have more players who can be in the start 11, and it should also help for the group. All the boys do all what they can every day, but we also know it's healthy to have competition, so there can also be consequences if you don't perform.
And Joe mentioned to you before about the formation. I just wonder, I've seen a bit of Joe Ndala played for Hull this season, played very wide. In the short term, do you see him more as playing as a number 10 for you, and will his sort of natural tendency to go wide just allow you to play a little bit differently even within the same formation?
Of course he can play the 10, but he can also play the winger. Yeah. So
yeah,
it gives us a new dimension to have a winger in the squad who can start wide, who can come in, who can stay in the pocket who can do both. So, yeah, let's see.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, Henrik. Good luck at the weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
See you
Henrik.
later.